What's up, guys? Before we jump into this episode, real quick, just wanted to forewarn you that after this episode drops, be paying attention to the channel. Reason being, I'm doing a triple, that's right, triple giveaway. I've got a Speedlab/Dinovox EGR delete kit for your Cummins. I have a flip kit with the matching shocks that are just kind of hiding out there right now. But flip kit with matching shocks for your first, second gen Ranger. That's giveaway 1, giveaway 2, giveaway 3 is we're gonna add this. We got some sockets. We got the original Eppy's Chop Shop mud flap cover that came off my truck that got crushed. Some Eppy's Chop Shop stickers. We're also gonna add a Eppy's Chop Shop shirt to that. Some Hot Wheels, and we're gonna add more to that package. So just stay tuned for the next couple episodes after this one drops, guys. We're gonna figure out who's the winner and how to give it away. Welcome back to Eppy's Chop Shop once again, guys. And if you can't tell by the mess in the garage, we are jumping straight into part 2 of the real budget build, S10. Reason I call it the real budget build is because I see all these YouTubers over and over and over again. Oh, we're doing a budget build. The next thing you know, they're ordering $1,000 suspension kit. They're ordering short blocks with aftermarket heads and blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, they've got like an $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 budget build. Thus far, $500 for both trucks. So I'm considering this a $250 truck. I have like $150 in tires. What, like $20 in paint? And I think like, let's say $200 between buying the parts for the fuel tank and everything. I did look out with that for my neighbor. So it was $70 for the new tank, pump, straps. And then probably like $100 for the ignition stuff that I got off of Rock Auto. So I'm what, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like what, $600 or $700 maybe into this project thus far. And at this point in time, I mean, I could really just screw some floorboards in there and kind of basically enjoy the truck. However, and again, I guess this part of the build isn't technically fair. And as always, I don't know why they are so good to me. I don't, but I do appreciate it. DJM has come in clutch once again and has sent me drop spindles, 2-inch drop spindles, 2-inch drop springs, and then I assume in the bottom of this box, or I don't know where I put them, but I'm gonna, no, they're over here. 4-inch drop blocks for the rear. They also sent me shocks for all the way around. So that's what we're gonna conquer today. The last video had gotten a little bit long. I was running out of room on my phone, and I wanted to legitimately be able to focus on the install of the suspension. I didn't think it was fair to spend all that time getting the truck running and kind of cram in the DJM suspension install at the very end. So, and you could piece together, I'm going to try to keep rambling to the minimum here. You could piece together a drop kit probably a little bit shorter or cheaper if you wanted to. But, I mean, I think it's like, was it like $400 or something for this drop kit? You could eBay it for shorter. I did eBay the upper control arms. I did pay for those. So, I would like to have this truck on the road and driving, I think, for under $2,000. And I think that is a fair budget build. A $10,000 short block, custom made heads, custom made pistons, $6,000 transmission, $5,000 rims is not a budget build. I don't know who the fuck thinks that's a budget build, but this, my friends, this is a budget build. We may not win any races. We may not take home any awards or trophies. What we will do is make ourselves smile. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Here we go, y'all. This is the most simple of the simple, if I'm being honest, as far as lowering a vehicle. I mean, the rear end of a truck is as easy as it gets. So we got new U-bolts with nuts and washers. We got a 4-inch drop blocks. And of course, we got our shocks with sleeves and adapters. And all this consists of And I'm pretty sure we've done this before, but all this consists of is taking out your shock. We're going to drop these U-bolts, which is just 4 nuts. This plate comes off. Do that on both sides, so then you literally just jack your axle up, slide those blocks in there, which just space right here in between this block or bracket and your leaf springs. Actually, I'm lying to you. Your axle, derp. Your axle is going to go in between this bracket. Geez, words are hard. Let's try this one more time. That 4-inch drop block is going to go in between your leaf spring, still can't talk, and this bracket, which is just going to simply raise your axle up 4 inches. It's going to give you factory-ish ride quality, and it's super simple and makes the truck look cooler. And you know, we like low, we like cool. So I'm gonna start popping this stuff loose, and I might actually clean it up a little bit, sling some paint. Alright guys, let's try and make some progress quick. So the upper shock nuts, there's anything on top of them that's probably gonna spin, appear to be 13s. The bolts that I may or may not cut off for the U-bolts are going to be 21s. I am going to go ahead and actually save myself effort and go ahead and grab another 13, because I'm sure this is going to spin. This should not. 13 acquired, or 13 on top and bottom. Appears so. It appears to be. Pardon me if and or when my air compressor kicks in. Just kind of is what it is. Or sorry. Oh yes, everything please come apart nice and easy like that. Yeah. Oop. Oop. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's the top. I assume this shock is going to come out easy, easy. Get out! Get out! Get out of there! That does. Oh, bitch! Shock. Hey! I lift the truck up high enough to get these nuts off. Yes, speed! Are they going to come off? One cool thing about YouTube, guys, is you get to see somebody else make mistakes, so you don't have to, like I just did. So, like I said, I was unsure of which way the blocks go, so I threw a level on the pinion. I don't have a pinion angle finder, but threw a level on it, and then I threw the block in at what I thought made sense, and then when I slapped both blocks in and let it set down, I was like, that's backwards. So, my original thought, and I hope I don't confuse you guys here, was the tapered or shorter end, just because the way the axle was sitting and leaf springs were sitting, it appeared to me that the shorter end was going to go in the back. In fact, it is not. The shorter end goes in the front. See how our axle is sitting nice and level again? It was just cocked way the fuck up like a hard dick. But yeah, so we are going to, this side is half-ass bolted in, as you can see. The instructions do say to do one side at a time. And from experience, I do want you to listen to that, because if you think you're more slick or more balanced than other guys and you're going to jack up the pumpkin and do both sides at once, I assure you that you're not, because you have your drive shaft in place, and that's going to tilt your pumpkin down forward, and shit's going to tilt back and forth, and next thing you know, you're trying not to knock your axle off the jack, So just do one side at a time. So we gotta track the side up, flop it around, tighten the U-bolts, slap our suspension in, our new shocks in, drop this down to the ground and see what our 4 inches looks like. But your mom already knows what our 4 inches looks like. Ayo! Boom. Drop blocks in. As far as the shocks guys go, they come with all the adapters and everything you need. This is clearly, wow, gonna go on top. Yes. You saw me zip out the 2 bolts earlier, so that just slides on through. And then, and this is universal for all shocks, they're gonna come with a sleeve that's gonna go through your bushing right here. And you just need to figure out what sleeve fits your application and use that sleeve in your shock. Easy peasy. Guys, it looks way too pretty down here for how rough the truck is. We got our new shocks, our drop blocks, cleaned up and painted the shock U-bolt bracket. Boy howdy, let's set her down on the ground and see how she looks. 4 isn't a huge drop, but you can even see with it not sitting on the ground yet. She looks butter. I think she might even be sitting lower in the back than she is the front currently, because these have a pretty nice rake from the factory. So let's get on the ground. Oh, guys, you can see without even being on the ground yet. It looks so much better. Fuck yeah. Let's get her down. We got to push anything? Nope, I think we're good. Yeah, dude. Oh, it's got suspension that functions. What? What? Oh yeah. It's like a truck that someone gives a shit about. Ugh. Dude, it's so much better. I can't wait to drop the front that 4 inches. Also, if I do choose to, I might even go a little bit more low. I'm gonna do the 4-inch drop from DJM with the upper control arms, but I still have Sandy's slapper bars, which will straighten out the leaf springs a little bit and lower it a little bit more. But dude, that huge fender gap is gone. Oh, that looks so much better. Yes, sir. Fuck yeah. Let's get her turned around, put back in the shop so we can start the front. Wow, moving right along, guys. I did back this thing out real quick and actually pressure wash it. Actually cleaned up decent. When I say pressure wash it, I mean that I even like pressure washed like the door panels and the back window and the floor. Everything still works. I ain't even mad about it, man. It's so much cleaner in there. The funk is way less. I'll take it. Also, in between staining my deck and whatnot, cleaned up the factory intake. It's got a fresh fan filter in it, hooked and or plugged up all the vacuum lines and sensors, and pressure washed the engine bay. Man, it's starting to look like a truck somebody gives a shit about. Oh, I also stole the way less broken grill off of the what is very quickly became a parts truck. But carrying on, we are moving on to the DJM 2-inch drop spindles, drop springs, my eBay tubular control arms with new ball joints, and my Detroit axle drilled in slotted rotors. I am going to knock out this side, go through a little learning experience myself, and then on the other side, I'm going to walk you through it, let you know if there's any tech tips, etc. And that's it, guys. So when we come back, I'm going to have this side installed, and then hopefully have some do's and don'ts for the other side. Whoa, here we go, guys. So just dropping this side, got it knocked out. I do need tie rod ends, and the lower ball joint's totally shot too, but I didn't get it. So this is my money shot right here. Then we'll move on to the other side, and I'll give you some tech tips because I did learn some things. Woo! Woo! Yeah, buddy. Me seeing it for the first time too. We're gonna have to pull her out. Obviously, I don't have the other side done yet, but oh yeah, she a leaner. She a leaner. We need this. You guys ready? Again, it's just the one side, and it's still gonna settle. Obviously, a brand new spring, dude. What you know about that? That's a neat looking truck. That's a neat looking truck for little to no money. Again, it's still gonna settle. I mean, look at the giant wheel gap we got over here. You can see she's leaning. It's still gonna settle. But hell yeah, man. At this point in time, I don't know if you can. We'll flip the camera. I am disgusting, borderline, on the verge of getting yelled at by the girlfriend. She's sick. I don't feel hungry, so when we come back, I'm gonna be blowing that other side apart and give you some tech tippies. And I'm gonna kind of just let it sit in the yard like this all night because I think it looks cool. And I don't know if it'll settle any, just chilling. I'm sure we'll have to do some driving and whatnot. And again, we need a lower ball joint. Maybe I could talk DJM into sending me in the 2-inch drop lower control arms. Hint, hint, DJM. Hint, hint. I do want more low. I always want more low. But yeah, come out in the morning, see if she settles a little bit, and blow the other side apart, give you some tech tips, and carry on. Alright guys, let's get this other side knocked out. See, we are a leaner. We are leaner. And again, I did mention previously in the video, this thing does need lower ball joints and tie rod ends and stuff. I'm just trying to really focus on the drop kit itself. I also have 1 day left of vacation in which I need to knock out like 2 or 3 more videos in that 1 day and install headlights in my truck and build a bike. Very busy. So we're just focusing on just the drop suspension components themselves. Again, because DJM has been so friendly and kind and helpful to me, we're focusing on that and that only. So we're gonna get this other side up in the air, and I'm gonna kind of give you some tips and tricks that I learned on the other side. And again, like I always say, we're just gonna keep on trucking along. We're gonna try to keep this informative without getting boring, guys. I don't know if you've ever really tackled steering components, spindles, and the whole everything that we're attacking here, but it can be a bit intimidating and also dangerous because this spring might attack you. So we're gonna try and avoid that. We'll pull you in here. I'm gonna give you just some real quick basics. One thing that I thought was particularly cool in the S10 is most vehicles have like your brake caliper and then a separate bracket, as where the caliper on the S10 just bolts directly to the spindle. You can see all the way over there. Can we see it? Right next to Midas. The bracket is like built into the spindle, which I thought was kind of a cool feature. Also kind of made it a pain to put back on. But in a nutshell, these are Allen heads. Those got to come out. Then you can hang your caliper out of the way. You're going to have an upper and a lower ball joint bolt with kingpin. Then you're going to knock this cap off. There's another castle nut with a pin in there. Same thing with your tie rod end. And then your shock just comes up vertically, which there's a nut, or a nut right there. And on the bottom, underneath, if you can see that or not, your spring comes through the center of the coil, and there are 2 bolts there. And then, now this is a part of the DJM kit. It was just a little something that I went the extra mile and did because it needed upper ball joints anyways, and honestly the control arms weren't priced that bad at like 200 bucks. But there's a little flap that goes right here. There's a bolt on each side. This will need an alignment obviously afterwards because you've changed literally everything. But I mean, they're not horrible to do, they're just not that convenient to get your hand in. So there's gonna be one there, and you can kind of see just the, if I can get my camera better, the nipple of it hiding right there. So you take this flap off, and these control arms are literally just one bolt on each side. And now that I have my light on, I can probably show you the two springs. There you go. The two spring bolts on the bottom. I am going to walk you through this as I am doing it. That was just a real quick once over. Also, if you don't have them, go ahead and invest in some, because for whatever reason, most of this truck seems to be put together with Allen bolts and Torx head bolts. Allen head bolts for the brakes. Everything else is just your standard metric shit. Enough rambling. I'm gonna start making some progress and get this thing sitting more gooder. Oh, yeah, puppy. This thing's bad enough anywhere you're gonna be putting your hands on. Little bit. Here's these Allen head bolts I was telling you guys about. They come out surprisingly easy, but I would clean them up and hit them with some anti-seize to, again, like we talked about not screwing the next guy in the last video on the fuel tank. You might be the next guy, so clean these up, put some anti-seize on them. Don't screw you, which sucks. Again, just trying to be helpful because some people have actually never done this before. We're gonna pop this cap off next. Just a hammer and a screwdriver. We'll get this guy off. I don't know if I'm gonna get it one-handed here, but there is a castle nut and a pin under there you need to remove, and that's gonna let you slide off your rotor and your bearings. I mean, I guess I do have a tripod, right? Boom. Cap comes off. Keep it. Unless you bought a new one, you're gonna need it. And then, like I said, castle nut, and there's a pin covered in grease. I will also show you how to pack bearings when it comes down to that time. So once you fight that cotter pin out, which depending on who put them in and how, it's gonna fight you. You're gonna want to keep this castle nut, but at this point in time, this whole assembly is gonna come off. And you're gonna want to keep, again, this castle nut and this washer. You're gonna have to buy all of these bearings and whatnot separately when you're doing your brake job. And again, I will show you that when we get to it. But at this point, I'm gonna pull off this dust shield, which is just 3 bolts. We're gonna clean that up, and we'll get to the little bit harder stuff. All right, guys. Again, just kind of trucking along. Got those bottom 2 bolts out. Save them. You do need them. As far as the top one, in my experiences, most of the time, the strut rod is just gonna spin when you try and take that guy off. So I just busted out the saw and I just cut that head off after that. Sorry, I'm zoomed in. I can only use my flashlight so you can see when I'm zoomed in. But this is kind of where things can get dangerous because, like I said, this spring is under pressure. Regardless of the vehicle being on it or not, the spring is compressed, and when you pop these ball joints loose, it can potentially shoot at you and cause injury. Now I got lucky on the other side, and I'm going to attempt the same method as I did on the other side, as I literally just took my jack, lifted it up, knocked the ball joints loose, and slowly let it come down. And I think I just kicked the lower control arm, and it did shoot out, but not like violently. So that's the method that we're going to try to approach. So I've already got my cotter pins out, and just gonna send it. Another quick little tech tip, as I did this the first time. What do I want to do first? I'm trying to give you good advice here. Do your bottom ball joint first, because then you're gonna have to beat all these ball joints out basically. Do your bottom one first and let it hang a little bit, and then you can knock your spindle down. I did the top one first, and that left my spindle still crammed in the lower ball joint. So do your bottom one first. All right, that's upper and lower ball joint popped. Let's see what kind of destruction happens here. Nothing. We get our control arm out of the way. Hopefully not get shot by a spring. Got it. Wow. So that was all of our old crap out of the way. At this point, I gotta get these 2 bolts that I showed you that are for the upper control arm in here. I'm not gonna drag you along with it because it's literally just 2 bolts. It is time consuming. There's not a whole lot of room in there, but not a big deal. Other than that, I'm just gonna scrape, clean all this up, hit it with the wire wheel and some rust preventative. And again, don't shit on me for the ball joints. I'm aware. I have eyeballs, but I also have bills. And I am a tiny little YouTube guy trying to kick out content and stay busy so I don't go insane. And yeah, so ball joints and tie rod ends are gonna come later. But we're gonna clean all this up, rust prevent it, paint it, and get back to assembly. But again, I'm not gonna drag you along with this because it's 2 bolts. Everybody knows how to use a wire wheel and a paint can, I hope. Wow. Just waiting for the paint to dry right now, guys. Again, I know I kind of touched on this a minute ago. A little bit goes a long way here, especially if you know for a fact that you were very likely going to be the next person in here. Clean it, wire wheel it, paint it, knock the rust off those bolts, anti-seize everything. Make this easy on you the next time you're going to be in here. Again, like I said a couple times now, I have to do those ball joints and tie rod ends, so it's for sure going to be me in there next. But again, a little bit of wire wheel, some paint goes a long way. Boom, got the other tubular upper control arm. As a heads up, this one is actually the harder of the 2. I thought it was going to be the easier one. It looked like there was more room. I was wrong, because your steering shaft is right in the way. This one back here actually isn't that bad, but definitely not the easier of the 2 to do. It was. I have man hands, so it's kind of hard to get in there. But at this point, we're just kind of doing the reverse of what we just did. If you look right here, you can kind of see this little hump right here. That is where your spring end, I guess if you will, is going to sandwich into. But you just stick your spring up in there, top first, push your control arm down. It'll kind of just want to sit in there. I'll show you in a second. And then we're going to do our spindle. And then we're going to slide our shock up through the center. I mean, everything is pretty self-explanatory from here on out. I will show you, like I said, how to pack bearings by hand. From what I gather, that's kind of an old school skill that girlfriend's dad, when I was like 16, taught me, I think. So I guess I'm going to pass it along to you since your dad didn't show you. Oh, I don't think there's a top and a bottom. I don't think anyway. So let's push this guy down, try to not jack up my first paint, and boom. We are seated. Don't complicate it. Just gonna jack this up till those ball joints come closer together. And once they're close enough to do the top and the bottom of the spindle, that's what we're gonna do. I mean, easy, make motherfucking peasy at this point in time, man. We're just bolting shit together. All right, fellas. This is where you get to yell at your dad for not being there for you and teaching you how to do stuff and letting YouTube be your daddy. Oh, don't step in the grease. Don't step in the grease, sir. Anyway, so these are my Detroit axle brake kit that I got. Drilled, slotted, more than the truck needs, but it was a fair price. I did have to order the bearings separately. They do come with their, I think they're races, actually. The brakes actually already have those installed, so I don't need these. Wheel seal came with the bearing kit. But if you notice, these bearings are dry, and you have to pack them. So you get some bearing grease, and this kind of sucks. I probably also should have washed my hands, but whatever. Just get in there. Get you a big old glob. Just smear it on your hands, and there is a sharp edge, if you can see, the larger edge. If you take that and just kind of aggressively scoop and rub on your hand, oddly enough, the grease will clean your hand. be, after you do this for a while, it pecks this bearing, and you will actually start to see it. I don't know if you can see it. It's starting to come through the front already. And as you're gonna have to do that all the way around. Can you see that? Not the inside, but the edge right there, where that grease is starting to come through. You want to see that all the way around. So I have to do both these real quick, and then we'll be right back. Bearings all packed. Our next little oddball thing about the brakes is, besides trying to keep her grubby dick beaters off of them now, I'm also out of brake clean. So on the back side, our big bearing, again, the races or whatever are already in these, so that is saving me a step. Otherwise, you need another tool for that, which I totally don't have. Go ahead. Get a little bit of grease on this guy. I don't know that you need to do grease on this, but I'm sure it probably helps. Whatever, bro. You knew better while you're listening to me. Anyway, this needs to be pressed in, and you don't want to just tap it with your hammer because you're not going to hit it evenly. It needs to be pressed evenly. So I just take, this is actually a reducer for my trailer hitch, and just smack this boy right in the center. And boom. I got Mussy. Look out, buddy. Look out, sir. Look out, sir. I got greasy hands. I can't pet you. I'm sorry. Anyway, you just knock that guy right in there. And then that just slides right on your spindle. The other bearing just goes on the outside of the spindle. And you put that nut back on, and we're pretty much done. That's it, guys. I'm going to throw some gloves on since my hands are so ridiculously dirty. Believe it or not. I do need to clean these anyways, but he's trying to keep my dirty dick beater hands off of here. I wrote it right on. She's seated all right. And then our other bearing that we packed. Sweep that in there. The washer with the little notch in it. I told you you're going to have to keep earlier. If you were listening, slides right on there. And then just our castle nut. But again, if you were listening earlier, told you had, shit! Told you had to keep. The rest of us just doing a standard brake job from here, guys. You just gotta, I'm gonna tighten this up till it starts to get snug. I'm gonna back it off. And then we're pushing that piston in and the brakes and putting new pads on. I mean, I don't even know if I want to bother showing that. If you can't do brake pads, you probably shouldn't be lowering your truck. Hey, guys. Like an hour and a half later, the first, and this is what I get for talking shit, I guess. The first caliper, I was trying to push the piston back in, and where are my clamps even? I bent 2 C-clamps that I can't even find now. I promise I didn't get mad and throw them. Anyways, I was going to show you the clamps that I bent. Same clamps. I mean, I use them on my 2500 and 3500 Ram to push pistons back in. There's one of them. That one literally started to open its mouth. The other one legit like cocked sideways. But anyway, I couldn't get that piston for the life of me to push back in. So I was like, well, I have a parts truck for a reason. Oh, here it is. You see that? I bent the shit out of that blade. So I ran out of the parts truck, grabbed the caliper off of that one, pushes right in, no problem. Cleaned it up, full of nasty fluid, which I'm not surprised. Slap it on, push the brakes one time, locks up. Nothing. So I took this piston and took it to the vise and fucking popped it right in. Now I'm being honest, I'm kind of afraid to hit the brake pedal because I'm afraid it's just gonna lock back up again. I mean, not that going and spending a little bit of money on, you know, safety is. Oh, it feels better already. Give her a couple pumpy pumps. See what she's doing. I mean, there should be some resistance. Yeah! It just needed to be influenced a little harder. Now, obviously, I'm going to need someone to bleed the brakes with me, which we will concern ourselves with later. But yeah, we're done. I'm going to throw the wheel and tire back on here. Oh, no, I'm not done. I'm not done. I have to still bolt the bottom of the shock in because this is hanging there. And after that, we're going to back this thing up and actually see what it looks like slammed. Do a little end. I want to do a burnout, but A, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, and B, I don't know if it'll do it. Plus, there's no water pump on it, so we're going to have a part 3 of this. We might just see. We'll see. We'll see. Sir, I'm ready to roll that beautiful beam footage. Get this girl back on the ground again. Low all the way around. Oh yeah. Yes, sir. If that's not lipstick on a pig, I don't know what is. Yes, sir. She looks good. Where's my beauty rings? That's a pretty truck. It's not piece shit tendonitis. That's a pretty truck. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get some of this mess cleaned up and, I don't know. I mentioned a burnout, but I don't know. Let me clean up this garage real quick. Get the full spectrum. We low all the way around now. I've also been slowly grabbing stuff off the other truck, and I got the O2 sensor on it. I got the windshield washer squirter. I think I told you I grabbed the grill off of it. The parts truck is slowly but surely. I didn't necessarily. I kind of thought I was going to build this one too, but it became a parts truck real fast. But let's get this garage picked up a little bit and wrap up this episode. Damn, man. She looks way more gooder. And that rattle that you keep hearing, the fuel tank is still just it's still just ratchet strapped in place. So it's literally the fuel strap dragging on the ground. Because, you know, half-ass everything. Never whole ass it, always half-ass it. We still have another episode of all the water pump, fuel tank, tie rod ends. With the next episode, we're gonna like legitimately drive this thing, but stay tuned. Ooh, y'all, we got that matching beasticle even. Look at that. I give a shout out to the girl for making that happen. This thing's dope. I'm not gonna lie, it's a slick ass bike, man. I like it. I like it. Half-ass matches, fits in the bed. I like it. Look at her up there cheesing. She's all happy. That's my bike. Oh yeah, guys. Well, like I said, I don't know if it's a good idea or not, or if it'll even do it. But I mean, it's not, you know, when we get a vehicle running, first thing we always do is do a burnout in the garage. Every time we move, every time we get a vehicle going. It doesn't have a water pump in it, but no, who cares? I won't lie, guys, that went a lot better than I thought it was going to, and it didn't blow up. So I think we're all just win for win here. Truck running, sitting lower, looking cooler, matching bikes, got the fresh white walls, nothing's on fire, I didn't get hurt. Dude, we're just all wins in this episode. So on the third and I don't want to call it final, maybe we'll fix this window. I don't intend on getting rid of this truck anytime soon. So there's probably gonna be more episodes, but we're gonna makeshift some floors, water pump so I can actually drive it, lower ball joints, tie rod ends, maybe actually like strap the fuel tank in and make sure all the lights and stuff work, get it titled. We're gonna drive it. I do have an idea of the truck's future. Obviously, I would like for this turbo small block Ford to end up in it, but for now we're just looking for something fun to drive around and kind of play around with, like with metal, because as you know, I never welded or anything until I started working on Sandy, and I want to practice with some dimple dies and patch panels and stuff like that, and slowly make the truck nice again. I'll probably never paint it. It's always going to stay Castle Point, but I would like to put actual floorboards in it at some point in time. I would like to, all the spots that need replaced, I'd like to cut them out and do some like dimple die panels, you know, under the hood and the cab, just to play around and learn. But that's where we stand with this episode, guys. I got a couple little itty bitty ones, including some giveaway episodes I gotta wrap up real quick, and then unfortunately after tomorrow I'm back to work. So hopefully this was useful, hopefully you had fun, hopefully, look, I didn't reinstall any of these shims. I might need these. Well, the alignment shop might need these, assuming it ever goes to one. But yeah, that's it, guys. Like, subscribe, share. Tell your mama I said what's up.